Kendall Jenner may have just let slip a clue that could shed light on the swirling rumors surrounding Justin and Hailey Bieber's relationship. Speculation about a possible divorce between the couple has been intensifying, and Kendall's recent actions might have unintentionally offered some insight into the situation. As fans have noticed a shift in the couple's dynamic, particularly following the arrival of their baby, the question on many minds has been why the change in energy between them. While Kendall didn't make a public announcement or share anything directly on social media, her subtle slip might have helped unravel some of the mystery behind the tension in the Bieber household. Anything online, but she attended a close-knit event and ended up sharing too much. According to sources close to her, she gave just enough away for people to start connecting the dots. So did Kendall really confirm that Justin and Hailey are calling it quits? Let's break this down. Your husband was in a very public relationship. They were, as most of you already know, Justin and Hailey Bieber's marriage has been under a magnifying glass for quite some time. The couple has long been the subject of rumors about tension in their relationship, but the latest round of speculation kicked into high gear after a video surfaced of Justin visibly frustrated with the paparazzi. He was simply trying to grab a coffee, but his response to being filmed was explosive. It's no secret that Hollywood has taken a toll on Justin, and his struggles with fame, especially the challenges of growing up in the spotlight, are well documented. However, this particular incident with the paparazzi struck a chord with the public. Fans weren't just worried about Justin's mental state, they started to question what Hailey might be experiencing behind the scenes. If Justin's reactions in public are this intense, how much pressure is he facing in private? This moment, filled with anger and frustration, raised serious concerns about the strain on their marriage. Kendall Jenner, who is known to be close to both Justin and Hailey, may have unintentionally spilled the beans on their marriage. Given her close relationship with the couple, when Kendall casually weighed in on the situation, people took her words seriously. During a private gathering with close friends, sources claim Kendall made a remark that seemed to confirm what many had been speculating, that the divorce isn't just a possibility, it's been a long time coming. As we all know, those intimate get-togethers can be where people open up and let their guard down, especially after a few drinks. It was in this type of setting that Kendall allegedly hinted at the trouble brewing between Justin and Hailey. What made her words feel even more believable to fans was how closely they mirrored the noticeable shift in the couple's public interactions. For example, Justin and Hailey have significantly reduced their public appearances together, which fans have been picking up on for some time now. At first, many fans believed it was just a phase, but it's becoming harder to ignore. At first, many assumed that Justin and Hailey's reduced public appearances were simply due to Hailey's pregnancy. It made sense that she would be staying home more, prioritizing her health and resting. But even after the baby arrived, their time in the spotlight as a couple didn't increase. In fact, it seemed to decrease even further. While people initially gave them the benefit of the doubt, thinking that the challenges of new parenthood might be weighing on them, the pattern became increasingly harder to overlook. What really raised eyebrows was how Justin and Hailey weren't just avoiding the limelight together, they were rarely seen in public at all, and when they were, it was often apart. This shift in their behavior left fans wondering if something more serious was at play beneath the surface. They had started appearing at events separately, even arriving and leaving on their own. One moment that caught everyone's attention occurred in March 2025. Justin was spotted attending a church service alone, leading many to believe Hailey had stayed home. However, a video later emerged showing Hailey leaving the same venue but through a completely different exit, surrounded by her friends and with no interaction with Justin whatsoever. That moment had fans buzzing, sparking questions about why a couple who had been so publicly close in the past was now acting so distant. Why weren't they even acknowledging each other in such a public setting? This only added fuel to the growing speculation that there might be more going on behind the scenes than anyone had realized. Not long after, Hailey made headlines when she unfollowed Justin on social media, only to refollow him shortly after. When fans noticed, she offered an explanation that many found hard to believe. She wrote, "It's a glitch. Didn't unfollow him. Hope this helps." At the time, everyone brushed it off as a simple mistake or a technical issue. But in light of everything else that had been happening, it started to feel like just another piece of a much larger puzzle. What really struck fans, however, was the noticeable change in how they spoke about each other. In the past, their social media posts were filled with affectionate nicknames, tags, comments, and public declarations of love. But now, the warmth and closeness in their interactions seemed to be fading, leaving fans to wonder what had changed between the couple. Lately, there has been an eerie silence between Justin and Hailey, with one moment standing out more than the rest. During an interview, Hailey referred to Justin as "my child's father," instead of using terms like "my husband" or simply Justin. This shift in how she spoke about him was jarring, not only because it felt emotionally distant, but also because it was a stark contrast to how she had always referred to him in the past. What made it even more striking was that she was discussing their future plans, which added a layer of uncertainty to her words. It may have been subtle, but that kind of shift in language hints at deeper issues beneath the surface. For many, watching, it seemed like a clear sign that things between them might be beyond repair. While we could list countless red flags that have surfaced throughout their relationship and marriage, the most telling part is how these issues have built up over time. Even for those who haven't been closely following the couple, It's clear that there's been a long trail of struggles leading to this moment. Kendall's seemingly casual comments may have unintentionally confirmed what many had already suspected, that Justin and Hailey's marriage is barely hanging on. And if that wasn't enough, there was also the rare and emotional moment when Hailey's own father took to Instagram, pleading with the world to respect their privacy. The timing of all these events has made it impossible for fans to ignore the growing tension between the couple. Hailey's father made a rare and emotional plea on Instagram, asking people to pray for Justin and Hailey. He wrote, "Christians, when you think of Justin and Hailey, take a moment to offer a little prayer for them to have wisdom, protection, and to draw close to the Lord." This wasn't just another post filled with religious sentiment. It was a cry for help, cloaked in faith. Now, looking back, it's clear why he felt compelled to share such a personal message with the public. But what exactly did Kendall say that sparked all of this speculation? According to close sources, Kendall didn't just hint at trouble, she openly shared the root of the couple's issues. It's all tied to Justin's ongoing mental health struggle. Kendall reportedly revealed that Justin has been in a dark place for over a year now, and it has been incredibly difficult for Hailey to manage, especially with a young child in the picture. The timing aligns with what fans have noticed. Justin has often appeared deeply sad, with weeks where he looked like a shadow of his former self, as though a dark cloud was constantly hovering over him. At first, many assumed that he was simply overwhelmed by the pressures of fame, but it became more evident when he started posting crying selfies and rumors surfaced about him distancing himself from everyone, even his own family. Word on the street was that Justin didn't want anyone near him or his baby, not even his family or Hailey's close friends. Reports indicated that he had become more cautious about who he allowed into his life on a daily basis, struggling with trust issues. It's clear now that the mental health challenges Justin has faced may have taken a much larger toll on his marriage than anyone initially realized. Justin has also been scaling back on security, opting to drive himself and Hailey on outings instead of relying on bodyguards or drivers. This shift in behavior has raised even more concerns, particularly the fact that, according to Kendall's sources, Justin only seems genuinely happy when he is under the influence. A recent example of this came during a road event where Justin appeared completely out of it. Fans noted how he was smiling like a zombie, swaying as though he could barely stay on his feet. The whole situation was unsettling, to say the least. Kendall's insights have only confirmed what many feared. Justin's mental state is spiraling, and Hailey's patience has finally reached its breaking point. She has been holding everything together for as long as she could, but it's clear she is emotionally and physically drained. The paparazzi incident, which seemed so dramatic at the time, was just the tip of the iceberg. According to Kendall's sources, Justin's emotional meltdowns are far worse than anyone can imagine. These breakdowns often escalate into uncontrollable episodes, which only deepens the strain on their relationship. While Justin has been open about his battles with depression and anxiety, the latest reports suggest that things have gotten much darker behind closed doors. In fact, it's much worse than anyone knew. Justin himself once admitted that getting married didn't fix his problems, and that he experienced an emotional breakdown when he realized that. He shared that marriage was supposed to be a solution, but instead, it mirrored his internal struggles, making him feel like a hypocrite. Looking in the mirror, Justin admitted that he wasn't the man he thought he was, and that realization hit hard. The emotional toll of his mental health struggles, combined with the pressure of his relationship with Hailey, seems to be pushing him to the brink. According to Kendall, one of the major factors weighing down Justin and Hailey's relationship, aside from the emotional distance and public red flags, is the relentless online harassment and the constant comparisons to Selena Gomez. It's honestly crazy that in 2025, people are still obsessed with this rivalry. Years have passed, yet Hailey still can't post a single selfie without someone bringing up Selena. The pressure this puts on her is overwhelming, and it's been taking a real toll. Kendall allegedly confirmed that this never-ending cycle of comparison has done serious damage to Hailey, both mentally and emotionally. The constant scrutiny from fans and the media has made it even harder for her to navigate her own identity in the midst of such public comparison. It's not just affecting Hailey's self-esteem, it's also undermining the very foundation of her marriage. According to Kendall, Hailey has had to become incredibly calculated about everything she does in public. No matter how small the action, it's always twisted into a Selena versus Hailey narrative. Every outfit, every quote, every little gesture gets scrutinized and compared. Even recent events, like Selena's engagement, quickly became fodder for the media, turning into a who has the better engagement ring debate. After nearly 6 years of marriage, dealing with that level of noise and constant comparison would wear anyone down. How do you stay grounded when the comments and criticism never stop? The comments section under Hailey's posts is still full of should have been Selena, which makes the situation even more painful. But here's where it gets even deeper. Fans might not even be Hailey's biggest issue. According to Kendall's sources, the real problem is that Justin has never truly let go of Selena. That claim allegedly came straight from Kendall herself. Given her closeness to both Justin and Hailey, it didn't take long for people to believe she was speaking from first-hand experience. Kendall isn't just some distant friend. She's been in the room, witnessing everything unfold. If that wasn't already messy enough, Justin hasn't exactly helped the situation. In fact, at one point, while married to Hailey, Justin Justin publicly told the world that his best memory from his teenage years was his relationship with Selena. Can you imagine how that must have felt for Hailey? To hear your husband publicly reflect on his ex while you're at home building a life together? If disrespect had a face, it would have been Justin's in that moment. When asked about the best part of his teenage years, Justin's response was a reminder that the past still had a hold on him, and that wound cut deep for Hailey. When asked about the best part of his teenage years, Justin's response was telling. Probably my relationship with my ex-girlfriend. That's a pretty deep comment, right? You'd think that with all the mounting tension between them, they would have sought therapy, worked on their communication, or even taken some time apart to heal. But instead, according to Kendall, they chose a different route, having a baby. Things were already on the verge of falling apart, but instead of confronting the underlying issues, they decided to bring a child into the mix, hoping it would bring them closer and give their marriage new meaning, acting as emotional glue. But according to sources, it seems to have done the opposite. The pressure of parenting has only added more strain, and now those close to them feel like the baby became more of a distraction than a solution. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. On the surface, it might look fine, but underneath, the damage is still there, bleeding. Even blind items, which are often unreliable, have been reporting on the growing tension between them for months, and a lot of it seems to line up. Some even suggest that this shift in their relationship began right after their honeymoon, signaling that things were already in a fragile state before the baby even arrived. If it's true that Justin allegedly drove over to Selena's house, then it's clear this marriage was off track from the very beginning. If your heart is still in another relationship, why are you signing wedding papers? It's like asking yourself, do you think you'll ever get back together? Is that a possibility? Justin himself has openly acknowledged the possibility, saying, "We have a lot of history together, so I'm sure it could happen." That alone shows the cracks in his commitment, and the situation feels like it was doomed from the start. But we can't talk about this mess without diving into the family drama and Kendall's messy position in the middle of it. Let's start with Hailey's dad, Stephen Baldwin. For years, people have been questioning his role in Hailey's life choices, especially her decision to marry Justin. Whether he meant to or not, many feel like he pushed Hailey into the marriage, and that's a narrative he'll likely never shake off. It's one of those quiet undercurrents that's been hanging over Hailey, and it's believed to have added even more pressure to her marriage. This goes all the way back to 2018, when people began speculating that this marriage might have been a business move rather than a true romance. The whispers in the street have long suggested that the Baldwins saw this union as a strategic move rather than a match made in heaven. The rumors about Justin being viewed as a cash cow and Hailey's dad chasing pop culture relevance through the marriage certainly paint a different picture of their relationship. While no one has been able to prove this, the speculation raises serious questions about the motives behind their union. It's easy to see how such a dynamic could have added pressure on Hailey, especially when she was just 22 years old, far too young to shoulder the emotional weight of being married to someone with Justin's level of fame and mental health struggles. Instead of enjoying a peaceful newlywed phase, Hailey found herself in the middle of global headlines and dealing with the reality of her husband's alleged lingering feelings for his ex. Now, if Kendall really did confirm that Justin hasn't fully let go of Selena, then those early predictions about their relationship might not have been mere gossip. They could have been the truth all along, just waiting to be uncovered. And let's not forget, Kendall isn't just an outsider looking in. She's been close to both Hailey and Justin for years. She and Hailey have shared everything: vacations, fashion week, matching outfits, the whole lifestyle. But there's more to this than just friendship. Kendall also has a history with Justin, allegedly dating him before he married Hailey. This isn't just a casual acquaintance situation. It's a complicated web of relationships. And if the rumors are true, it adds an even more dramatic layer to an already messy situation. Justin was at the peak of his career, but the rumors surrounding his personal life were just as intense as his professional rise. One of the most talked about aspects of his relationships was how he allegedly became involved with multiple Kardashian daughters, which is said to have included a brief fling with Kendall Jenner. While neither Justin nor Kendall has publicly confirmed or denied these claims, it's undeniable that they've been in each other's lives for years. In fact, people still recall how much Selena Gomez reportedly couldn't stand Kendall, adding a layer of drama that complicates Kendall's role in this whole situation. This dynamic became even more apparent in 2020 during a casual Instagram Live with Justin and Hailey. When Justin asked Kendall if she ever saw their marriage coming, Kendall's response, "Honestly, no," was a gut punch. Hailey's reaction was immediate. Her face dropped, and the atmosphere shifted. It was an uncomfortable moment that hinted at the fact that things between Justin and Hailey haven't always been as perfect as they've appeared. That little moment spoke volumes about the underlying tension in their relationship, something the public hasn't fully seen. By 2025, Kendall and Hailey are still seen publicly hanging out, grabbing dinner in West Hollywood, and sharing sisterly selfies. But if the rumors about Justin and Hailey's marriage being on the rocks are true, Kendall's private thoughts paint a much different picture than the one she posts publicly. And maybe that's the key to understanding Kendall's position. In Hollywood, loyalty and image don't always align, and sometimes being in the inner circle means knowing a bit too much and letting too much slip. That's where Kendall stands, firmly inside the circle, yet often caught in the tension between what she knows and what she's willing to reveal is where things get messy. Kendall's position is tricky, Hailey, and it's hard not to wonder if she's playing both sides of the fence. She's been close to Justin for years, even allegedly dating him at one point, but she's also Hailey's best friend, the one who's supposed to have her back. Yet when it comes down to the crunch, Kendall's unspoken history with Justin and her unfiltered opinions seem to slip through. She couldn't even fake the shock when Justin and Hailey tied the knot, and now, as their marriage seemingly unravels, Kendall still manages to keep the appearance of being the calm, neutral party. But is she really neutral, or is she adding fuel to the fire? When she's out there casually spilling details about her best friend's marriage struggles, it's hard to ignore how that could make things worse, not better. If Kendall's spilling tea like this, Hailey might not need any enemy, because sometimes the biggest wounds come from the people closest to you. So while Kendall keeps up appearances, it's unclear whether she's truly supportive or whether she's subtly feeding into the chaos that's already engulfing her friends. This and that leaves room for a lot of speculation. Kendall's role in this whole drama seems more complicated than just being a supportive friend. Given her history with both Justin and Hailey, the dynamics at play go beyond just loyalty. She's not just a neutral observer, she's in the middle of everything, possibly carrying more weight than she lets on. The fact that people close to her, who have witnessed these moments firsthand, are backing up the idea that she might know more than she's saying only adds to the intrigue. If Kendall is hiding more than we think, it's probably because of the tangled relationships and the way the public perceives her. Being a best friend to Hailey, but also having a past with Justin, creates a very thin line for her to walk. In Hollywood, loyalty can often be tested, especially when the truth could harm friendships or public images. So while she hasn't confirmed or denied anything, the rumors and the patterns of behavior point to something deeper. Kendall might be more of a player in this triangle than she's letting on, and that could be the twist in this whole narrative that no one saw coming. It's definitely far from over, and I'm curious to see how this unfolds. The quiet moments, the subtle shifts in loyalty, and the constant shifting dynamics in this group suggest that we might only be seeing the tip of the iceberg.